So it's the second day from the main event today. I started the day with 30 cane chips, blind 400, 800 with the 800 big blind ante. And table looks pretty good. I think 2 pros on the table. So I had one interesting hand. I raised under the gun pocket tens to 1800. Recreational player behind me make it 4K, and somebody in a small blind also called. And this guy was very loose so far. Once he showed like King 8 suited. He showed that he limp called King 8 suited, big raise and big part of his stack in the middle position. So I assume he's quite a bad player. So I called also. The flop came 10-9-4 rainbow, so I hit top set. I checked the 3-better bet 6K. The small blind folded. I called. Yeah, there's I think no point in raising so far. Best option is to trap a little bit. There's almost no chance I get outdrawn, and I hope he hits something on the turn. So the turn comes a 9. I check again. He checked quickly behind. The river is a blank, like a low card. I decided to check again. I block a good part of his calling range, and if he decided to pot control with the overpair or something like this, which is quite likely, I think, then he definitely bets now, and I can check raise him, of course. So he checked very quickly behind. I showed my hand, and then he smiled at me, and he showed his hand, and he had pocket queens. So my read was totally wrong, but I think it's still the best play anyway to check raise the river. Yeah, that's how it goes. So now I have 77K. So it's quite fortunate level so far. I won quite some hands. Yeah, and see you next break. Second break now. Did not have many hands, just did not play many hands. I called a couple times and checked for the flop. So I have now 61K. The blinds are still the blinds went up to 500 with 1K and 1K big blind ante. And we have this strange thing with a break being again in the halfway through the level. So we play 1 more hour, the 500 with 1K blind level, and then the blinds will go up. So see you next break. So it's dinner break now. I have 122K. I had one big hand in the later levels. I mean, not so big, just 25 big blinds each. I had pocket jacks, the other guy had ace king, and I won the flip. But the more interesting hand occurred at the earlier level. The blinds were 6, 12 and 1200 big blind ante. I raised in early position with 9-9, and a very good German pro made it 7.5K on the button. He has like 30 big blinds, and I cover him by, I think I have 60 or 70 big blinds at this point. So I'm not quite sure what to do here. I decided to call. I think it's a little bit too light to shove it in, but too strong of a hand to fold. So I called. Flop is 8-6-3 with a flush draw, and he bet. I checked. He bet I think 5k. Yeah, and I decided to just put it in. I mean, I get sometimes called by worse, but mostly it's just for protection, because it's also very difficult to play the turn in the river. So I pushed it in, he snap called. So I pushed it in with, it was like 20k, or a little bit over 20k. I pushed it in, he snap called, and he had aces, and the hand hold for him. So I was down at this point a little bit, but I managed to grind it back a little bit. So another very interesting hand was at the 500 1k and 1k big blind ante level. Early position raised to 2200, was a quite active recreational player, but he's kind of knows what he was doing, kind of. Then the cutoff called. I thought he was a pro at this point, and I made it 7k on the bottom with ace king offsuit. Under the gun folded, cutoff called very quickly, and the flop came 10-10-3 rainbow. I bet 4500 into 20k. He called. The turn came deuce. It went check. You could bet here on the turn. Maybe he folds like a hand pocket sixes, pocket eights. Maybe he folds an ace, which is of course not good, but could be a split pot on the river or whatever. Or a hand like a float like queen jack also have some outs against you, so small bet is maybe good. Maybe bigger bet is good against the pocket pairs, I don't know. So I just checked. The river came a 3, so there was a double pair on the board. And he bet quite fast, 15k into like almost 30k. And at this point I have like 20k left, 25k left only. Yeah, and I don't know really. I'm kind of top of my range here. Sometimes I check an overpair on the turn to trap or a 10 or something like this. But also had the kind of feeling from the bet size that he's not betting on pocket 9s there with the sizing. It was just a feeling, whatever. I decided to call, and he showed king 9. I'm not sure if it was offsuit or even offsuit or suited. Could be even offsuit. I don't know, so it was very strange, but I think he was a little bit on tilt because he lost a couple hands before. Yeah, that's it so far. So I think one more level to go now, and then I hope we back in for day 3. See you then. So I'm in the hotel already. I got some food, a little bit snack for the night. So we made day 3. I backed in 168k. Yeah, I think it's about average, maybe slightly under average. The blinds just been 1k, 2k with a 2k big blind ante. The next I think 12 and 24. So from the last break, there just happened two big hands. At at the 1K, 2K level, under the gun, open-raised the older player. He was kind of new at the table. And so I gave him a little bit of respect. I flat called in middle position, ace queen suited. And he raised for 4,500. No, he raised for 5,100. So I called, we are heads up to the flop. Flop came queen 6 or something. He checked pretty quickly. I thought about betting or checking. And then he made like, he knocked the table again very loud to indicate that he was checking. So this is usually, so he checked the second time. So this is usually a sign of weakness. So I decided to check it back. Usually when I bet there, I mean, either he has a overpair or something, or queen that he's anyway not folding, or he just gives up on the hand. So, and if he gives up on the hand, I want him to catch up. So I check back, turn is a deuce. He let out for 6,000. And he had like 30K in total or something. And now I decided to raise and try to get it in. I think he's not the type of guy that would bluff the river again if he had nothing. And yeah, I mean, you could just call and then hope he hit an ace or something. I think raising the turn is better, so I raised to 15, and he quickly grabbed all his 1K chips, which was most of his stack, and shoved them in the middle. I asked him if he was all in, or he said all in. He said, no, just bet this. Then I went all in, he called, and then he had king, queen, and the river was an ace, so I won with ace, queen. It was quite a big pot, 60K I think, or a little bit bigger. So then the table broke, and we went to a new table. We went to the Amazon room, the bigger, no, not the bigger, just the other room. And then at the new table, at the 1K, 2K level, I had ace king against aces for 50K. But the table was quite, so that I lost, of course. But the table was quite passive and easy to play, so I could raise many hands and chipped up again a little bit. So that's why I ended with 168K. Sorry, already quite tired. Yeah, that's it. Day 3. Usually in the money we get on at the end of day 3 or at the beginning of day 4. So it's hard to say if the next day already is in the money or not. So the restart is in 2 days. Then also the other starting days are combined. So the main event has 3 day 1s and then has 2 day 2s, and at day 3 the whole field is combined. So on Monday in 2 days we play day 3. Yeah, that's it. See you in the next vlog.